Alright, so we got our first legendary priest spell for the
And they
Boomsday project.
already have the legendary pre-spell out.
Spell
Some of
and
them, they
minion.
don't have the pre-spell out. Most of them, they don't have the spell out. The
Yep,
first
they
like
still
three, they
still
didn't
have
even
more
have the
cards to
spell out.
reveal, you're right.
And also more
Actually,
legendary spells
I'm gonna
that
refresh this just in case maybe they revealed more since we've been here last.
in classes we've done.
Oh, here's a new one. From
It is.
Mage.
There's a new one from Age.
6 mana. Hold on a second, I'm about to sneeze. Okay.
Yay, sounds back on.
Alright, so here's what we got. 6 mana 3/3. That's not good.
No!
It's called a Meteorologist. Battle cry. For each card in your hand, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. So again, this is one of those things. It's like how many cards you have in your hand.
That
so
can
6
be good.
mana.
That
So
can be good.
it could be a 6 mana deal 9 damage randomly
Wow, nice.
to our enemies only. That's another thing to keep in mind. It's like, for example, Shaman has Volcano, right?
Yeah.
And that does 15 damage, but that does it to everybody. All the minions, even your own minions. This one does just enemy minions.
That's nicer.
Potentially deal 9 damage.
Yeah. But that's only if you have 9 cards, right?
That's only if you have a full hand, you're right.
Yeah.
So if you only have 4 cards, after you play this guy, you'll deal 4 damage.
Yeah, so the biggest amount that they could do is 9.
9 is the biggest, yeah, you're right. So for each card in your hand, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. So it's kind of like kind of like a Cthulhu almost, except
that can be
little
pretty.
tiny.
That can be good.
You think that's good?
No.
Well, do you or don't you? Well, for 6 mana, you can do Blizzard and do 2 damage to all enemies.
Yeah,
except for the and all enemy minions anyway, right?
Yeah, that's good, I guess. Yeah, that's good.
So I don't know.
Kind of.
I guess it depends. If you're going against a whole lot of decks that have little 1 health guys, then maybe this would be alright.
I don't know. That doesn't seem pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one either.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one's new since we last looked at this. Any new paladin stuff? Nope. Okay. Now we'll go to priest.
Wait, go back up.
What?
Never mind.
Alright, priest then. Priest legendary spell is called Zarek's Cloning Gallery. 9 mana spell, so it's really big.
Wow.
Summon a 1/1 copy of every minion in your deck.
I don't think you have enough room in your board for that.
You don't think so? So you can a maximum of 7, right? If you have an empty board, you play this, and you have at least 7 minions in your deck, you'll get 7 1/1s. Is that good?
Yeah, what if they're all magnetic? What if some of them are magnetic and some of them are magnetic?
Well, you can't play a magnetic thing onto them. It's just a 1/1 copy of it.
Yeah, I know.
One thing I was thinking about was, what about, let me bring the game up again. Stormwind Knight.
What's that?
Stormwind Knight?
I don't know what that is.
That's a classic card.
Come on,
it gives all your minions +1/+1.
Oh yeah, that.
So what if you bring out a one copy of that with all your other 1/1s, and suddenly you have that and a bunch of 2/2s now?
Yeah.
Or if you have 2 of those in your deck, you'll have 2 2/2s and a bunch of 3/3s. That could be interesting. Stormwind Champion, not Stormwind Knight.
Oh,
so your other minions
I thought
have
you meant that
+1/+1.
two cost thing.
No, this one right here. So all your other minions have +1/+1. So if you have 2 of these in your deck and a bunch of other little guys or whatever they are, and you get 1/1s of everything, this gives them all +1/+1. So if you have 2 of these that come out with this spell, you give everything +2. Yeah. So let's go back to this now.
Legendary.
Okay. So anyway, what did you think about this card though? This spell, is it a good spell?
I see some ways that I have.
Another thing I've heard on one of the other streams I've watched was, what if you had Baron Geddon?
What's Baron Geddon?
Baron Geddon's the 7-cost legendary, this one. At the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all other characters. And if you have a whole bunch of 1/1s with Death Rattle, and you kill them all, then you draw like 6 cards or something.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
You don't like that one? Well, I think that could be good, actually.
That's weird.
Okay, well, I think this card has potential, but you have to have the thing is that it costs so much, and you have to not like draw all your minions before this comes out, right?
Yeah, like, what if you had like 9 legendaries? Well, what if you had 7 legendaries in your deck, and they do crazy things?
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's look at
We'll
this one.
see about
This one's called Zarek's Cloning Gallery. This one's called Zarek, Master Cloner.
Both of those legendaries. So maybe the cloning gallery is cloners. I think that legendary is actually the boss of all these things that are making stuff.
Yeah, he's the boss of the priest lab.
Yeah, he's the boss of all of the priest lab that's making all these minions.
Yeah. You see all these cards have these like big tanks with creatures inside them.
Yeah.
All right, so
he's the master of them.
Well, let me tell you what he does. He's a 6 mana 5/5, so not very good stats for 6 mana. Usually you want like a 6 mana 6/7 or something if you're going to play 6 mana. But Death Rattle, so when this thing dies, if you've cast any spells on this minion, resummon it again. So if you do like Power Word Shield or something, let's look at the priest spells. Let's do a search for spells. Well,
I don't know any of the names, so I don't know what you're talking about when you say names.
Like this one, Power Word Shield. Give him +2 health.
Yeah.
Then he gets killed and he comes back.
Wait. I know something really nice. Play Power Word Shield, yes, but then that.
Yeah, Divine Spirit, or you could. What else could you cast on him? You could like kill him, I guess, if you wanted to, but that'd be kind of silly. But you have things like this one, Vivid Nightmare. Choose a friendly minion and summon a copy of it. So now you have 2 of them, and now you get 2 guys that keep on coming back over and over and over again, potentially. I mean, there's lots of like this here. You can cast an elixir on him.
Yeah. I have a lot of these spells that you talked about.
I'm not sure. Let's see. What's another good one?
I have one that's.
I guess those are the main ones so far, anyway, of priest spells you want to cast on this guy.
There's one that you don't have. That I have. That's pretty good.
What's that?
I don't know what any of them are called.
Well, I'm looking to see. I mean, there's Inner Fire. There's, you don't want to silence him. Binding Heal, I guess. You could cast that on him to resummon him. I think this is not this one. Not this one. Vivid Nightmare. I think that's a good one to cast on him. But then Unidentified Elixir. Let's see. I wonder. Let's see. He's 5 attacks, so you can't like Shadow Madness your enemy's card and like do some kind of weird shenanigans that way. So I think there's a few cards there. I wonder. Let's see. They've revealed a lot of the Paladin. Oh, this is a good one here. Power Word Replicate. So we haven't got to it yet, but if you cast this card on that one, choose a friendly minion, summon a 5/5 copy of it. So now you get 2 of them that way.
Yeah. So I think what since he's the master, I think he's making these other minions make stuff that could copy other minions and copy him and make him stronger because he's their master and he's making stuff that makes him and he's the boss and he's making stuff that makes them better. So I think he's so if you combine all these other cards, he's a really good card.
Yeah, you gotta have the spells to cast on him though, right? If you don't have any spells to cast on him, he just kind of dies and goes away.
Yeah.
And he just becomes a 6 mana 5/5. So this card I think might not actually be that good. I think you have to. You'd have to really make your deck to just surround this guy, have a whole bunch of spells to cast on this guy, and then you just get a whole bunch of 5/5s, I guess. Maybe in wild, you know, summon all your Death Rattle minions that died.
Oh, I love that legendary.
Yeah, that was good.
I actually have that, but I discarded it.
So if you are able to bring this guy back like 4 or 5 times, and then you play Nazoth, you get like a whole board of 5/5s. But is that good?
Yes.
All right, let's look at the next one here. This is a 5 mana 4/6.
I think that legendary is good.
It's called Reckless Experimenter. Death Rattle minions you play cost 3 less, but they die at the end of your turn.
Is he trying to kill her master or what?
Yep, so if you play this one costs 3, but then it dies at the end of the turn.
Is he trying to kill her master?
So is that good?
No!
You don't think that's good?
He's trying to kill her master!
Well, what if you played this with, what about this guy?
Yeah.
You like that idea?
Yeah.
So your
I
death
actually
rattles cost 3 less with this card, Reckless Experimenter. So that would be free, and then it would die at the end of the turn and give you
a 5/5.
Right?
Okay, that's good. But don't play the Masters. He's trying to kill her Master right now. Don't play.
Try to kill her Master. What about this one?
Oh,
Choose
yeah.
a minion, and then when this dies,
Oh,
it kills
yeah.
it, and it's free if there's 3 less.
Yeah.
And then there's also that guy.
Ooh, yeah.
You can make 2 copies of something right away.
Yeah,
At the end of your
he
turn.
would cost 2.
Because this costs 3 less, so it only costs 2. So there's lots of possibilities with this Reckless Experimenter, right?
Yeah.
You think it's good though?
Yeah, I can find some good ways.
You can find some good ways to play with that.
Oh, I know. I can find a good way with that frog. So cast a frog on the legendary, and then play her. Well, I don't know which order you're supposed to do it, but then frog dies. He
What, you
has
mean
2 of himself.
Oh, the Carnivorous Cube?
Yeah.
The green card here?
Yeah.
That's not a frog.
What is
Does
that?
it look like a frog to you?
That looks like
It's
a
called Carnivorous Cube.
Ew.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about power replicate a little bit. Choose a friendly minion, summon a 5/5 copy of it.
Now
So-
how's that good?
That I could see being played on this guy.
Oh yeah.
When you get a copy,
And he would be exactly the same because he's
yep,
already
he'd be a
from-
death rattle and everything.
And so all it would be was a exact copy of him. It's like making a copy of the same minion, not copying a 5/5 of him.
So it summons a 5/5 copy of it. But if you were to, do some kind of buff to this card and then copy it, it would have the same buffs on it,
Oh,
But it would
that works.
It'd be a 5/5 version of it. Like for example, if you did the priest spell. Where is it?
Oh, it would still be a 5/5 though.
This one here. So give a minion +2/+2 and gains a bonus effect. So one of the bonus effects, for example, is to put it back in your hand.
Yeah,
that's one of the bonus effects.
like when it dies, resummon it.
So then if you do this on that and it would give you another copy in your hand.
Oh.
So I think there's possibilities for this, but you don't want to necessarily play this on anything.
Yeah.
You have to choose wisely, right?
Yeah, you have to choose. Like I really hope I am going to get both. I hope I'm going to get one of the priest legendaries, but also I already said warrior.
I think if I'm not mistaken, when you log in, you're going to get a free class, a random free class legendary. Don't know which one it's going to be.
I want a priest one.
You want the priest one?
Wait, I got a priest one. I got a shaman one last time. I think.
You got the shaman one last time?
I got the shaman hero card. I was looking at the hero card.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Okay, let's look at the next
I'm
one.
the
We got
hero card again.
a 3-mana 3/4. It's called Omega Medic. So 3-mana 3/4. That's not bad. 3-mana 3/4. Battle Cry. If you have 10 mana, restore 10 health to your hero.
How you
sound
supposed to
good?
have 10 mana?
When you get to turn 10, you have 10 mana.
I
Right.
know. Didn't you play her?
Well, it doesn't mean if you have 10 full mana. It just means if you have 10 mana crystals. So you have to have 10 of those little blue crystals. If you have all 10, this card will heal you for 10 health
When you play it.
when you play it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Does that sound like a good card?
Yeah.
What if you play it when you don't have 10 mana crystals?
No, that's not a good card at all.
This is just a 3-mana 3/4.
I could find some buffing stuff.
Yeah, I buff it up. But I think it could be good, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
The Omega stuff, I'm still kind of torn on.
I think I would wait until 10.
Wait until turn 10 to play it. It only costs 3, so you could play 2 of them and get 20 health if you needed to.
Yeah.
You think that's good?
Yeah.
All right, next one. 2-mana 2/1.
Dead Ringer.
Dead Ringer.
Dead. What?
Death Rattle. Draw a
No,
Death Rattle
no,
minion
minion.
from your deck.
Heck.
And it's a mech. Could be good with magnetic, maybe. So this is like Loot Hoarder. Remember Loot Hoarder?
No. I don't know any of the names.
Yeah, you gotta remember. So this is 2-mana 2/1.
Oh, yeah,
Death Rattle.
Loot
Draw a card, right?
Yeah, I have.
And this is a 2-mana 2/1. Death Rattle. Draw a certain card. A Death Rattle card. Is that good?
Yeah, I have some deferral stuff that's pretty good. I actually have an awesome deferral card that's really good.
Yeah.
Especially for turn 10. Especially for turn 9. Because it costs 9.
So, I think that was pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
especially if you're doing a deck battle deck.
I know what that even does. They showed it on that video on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
The long one.
Well, you want to move on?
Yeah, let's do that.
2 mana spell, cloning device. Discover a copy of a minion in your opponent's deck. So it's going to give you 3 options to choose from.
Oh.
From your opponent.
I hope it's a warrior, and I hope he has the hero card, and I hope I discover the hero card to turn into Dr.
No,
Boom.
see, it discovers a minion, not a hero card.
I want to discover Dr. Boom. Why don't I have anything that can discover Dr.
Well,
Boom?
they do. I mean, that's a priest card. So, I mean, priest does have thought steal. That can just steal 2 cards. Doesn't matter what they are, spells or minions or whatever they are. Then there's this one that steals 3 cards from your opponent's deck. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Dad.
But this one is discovered. But this one you get a choice of 3. You get to choose. With those other 2 cards, you don't get to choose. They just give you random cards. So you might get something good, you might not.
Okay.
Is that good or bad? What do you think? What's your take?
Well, people won't make a deck bad, but of course it won't work for your deck, right?
I mean, they might have stuff that's in their deck that doesn't necessarily work with your deck.
Yeah, nothing works with your deck that's in Warrior, does it?
I don't know.
Well, there is some stuff that I can figure out in Druid. So yeah, I would take it as good. I can find some stuff in Druid that I would love. That I would want to have.
Yeah, Druid has some good stuff, but
yeah,
not everybody's going to be playing Druid. Although these cards for Druid are pretty crazy. Maybe they are going to play it. Everybody is going to play Druid.
Everybody's going to start playing Druid. But no, everybody should stop playing Warrior.
Because of Dr. Boom?